Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about the DJI OSMO Mobile 3. What this is a camera gimbal for your cell phone. So basically you link it up through Bluetooth, you connect your phone to it, and then you're able to control your phone with the gimbal. What the gimbal is going to do is it's going to allow a lot more stable videos. It's going to have like face tracking or person tracking. When you move around, it's not going to be all bouncy and shaky. So it is going to make your videos look real good. It's going to take your video production up to the next level. You can also control things like if you're going to take a photo or a video. You can pan, tilt, zoom. You can do all that from the gimbal. So it's a pretty neat device. I think I paid $100 for this, which seems a little bit pricey, but you know, I think for what you're gonna get for it, it's really, I think it's worth it. So I'm gonna be unboxing this, showing you what's inside, and then I'm gonna set it up on the app and show you a little bit about how it works. I am by no means an expert on this product, but I do want to show you some of the features that I had found and just kind of go through some of that process. So here we are. I'm going to be unboxing the OSMO Mobile 3 gimbal. What we have inside here is a storage pouch to hold the gimbal when you're not using it, which is kind of nice so you don't bang it around too much. You have the gimbal itself, which is in here. So this is basically it. It folds up into a little bit of a smaller package here for when you're not using it. But when you are going to use it, you flip it out and you attach the phone onto this here, which I'll show you more in a little bit about that. It has a wrist strap so you don't drop it. If you do drop it, it's not gonna hit the ground, I guess. So that's the gimbal itself. Also comes with, I believe, a charging cable. So here we have some manuals and a charging cable. It does not come with the wall adapter. You'll have to provide that yourself. But it does come with the cable, and it is a USB Type-C. It is not the micro USB connector. So it is the USB-C, which it is nice seeing companies switching to the USB-C because I think it's a better connector. So it seems as though this is a more modern product because they had already gone now to the newer connector style. So I will be showing you how to attach the cell phone onto the gimbal next. So now I'm going to show you how to attach a cell phone to this. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this is designed for a cell phone. It's really not designed for a point and shoot camera because it wouldn't have a way to communicate. It is not designed for a tablet, and that is mainly because this only opens up so far to hold on to your device. Now it opens up a little bit more than 3.5 inches, which should be sufficient for a lot of your bigger phones on the market today. The iPhone 11 Pro Max measures in at a little over 3 inches. The Samsung Note 10 Plus is a little over 3 inches. So it should not be a problem even holding some of your larger premium phones that are out there these days. I am going to be attaching an older model of a phone, mainly because I'm filming with my iPhone 11, therefore I am not able to connect it to this device. So one thing that you're going to want to keep in mind is you are going to want to make sure the gimbal is off when you connect your phone. And the reason is this gimbal, it has an auto balancing, auto centering feature. So the minute you start holding on to this and trying to attach a phone to it, it's going to start to freak out. So you do want to connect your phone without the gimbal turned on. It shows here that the phone camera direction, so you're going to want to make sure that the camera is up on the, the top of your phone where the camera is pointing to the left. You're also going to want to make sure that you center the phone, because if the center of balance is off on this phone, the gimbal is not going to operate properly and you're going to get some error messages. So you do want to try to get the phone as centered as you can in the gimbal. So what I have been doing is I've just been hooking the phone in on one end, pushing it up, and then pulling it down and hooking in the bottom end. Now on some phones you're going to want to be careful, because you're not going to be wanting to hit the power button or the volume buttons. So you may have to have this off center a little bit in order to not hit those buttons, but you are going to want to try to keep it as centered as possible. So that is basically how you install it. And since it's off, the gimbal is just kind of floppy and flipping around. In the next section of this video, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pair it up with the phone, show you that setup, and then I'm going to come back and show you physically the gimbal again and how it operates. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what each of the buttons do on the Osmo Mobile 3. So first of all, we have the joystick button, which with the joystick button you can simply tilt it up and down, pan it left and right, so you can do that. There's a zoom button on the left hand side. You can zoom in or you can zoom out. There's the button that allows you to take start a video or take a photo. It's a button with a red dot on it. So you click on that and it starts recording a video. You click it again and it stops. There's the M button. There's an M on it, but it's also the power button. If you click it once, it toggles over to the photo mode. Click it again, it goes back to video mode. If you double click it, it changes from portrait to landscape. I know this looks a little strange on the video here, but the camera physically rotated horizontally. Double click it again, it goes back to portrait mode. If you triple click it, it goes into standby mode. And what standby mode is good for is you can fold this down and manipulate your phone without it trying to rotate or anything. But if you triple click it again, it'll wake back up and it'll be ready to do a video. So it's kind of good if you're just waiting kind of in standby mode for an event to take place. So another thing you can do is there is a trigger on the front side or the back side of the camera for where your index finger is. If you click and hold the trigger and then physically move the gimbal to the left or right, it'll for the most part stay locked on to what you are looking at. If I release my finger from it and go to the right and left, you can see what happens. I pan. So that's a neat feature. If you double click the trigger button, it rehomes the gimbal. And if you triple click, it switches over to the selfie mode. So that another thing that you can do is if you click or hold on the screen and drag a box around an object, you can see it locked onto that person's face. And I'm not doing anything now except physically moving the gimbal to the left and right. and it's staying locked on to that person. So that is a pretty neat feature. You click the trigger and then it exits that mode. So that is pretty much the explanation of how the controls work. That's most of the controls. I don't know if there is really much more to that. If you tap on some of the things on the screen, you can choose some different settings. Like for example, the follow mode, which is what we were doing. We were following an object. Sport mode means the gimbal, when you move the gimbal around, it'll move faster. It'll keep up with what you're looking at faster. If you don't have sport mode on, it follows a lot slower. It makes a little smoother video. It all depends on the effect that you're looking for. And then there's also some other settings you can do there. Just some basic things there. And that's about it. You can have a gesture mode. If you make a gesture, say hold up 2 fingers, it'll take a picture. So it's kind of like a remote shutter type thing. I don't personally use that, but and you can also tap on the screen to flip the camera from front to back. So that's pretty much the settings on the app and kind of how they work. So as I had mentioned before, these are the buttons on the Osmo 3. This was the joystick button that I was talking about. This is the M button. It's also the power button. That's the one you double click to change from portrait to landscape and so on. Up here, the one with the red dot is the one you use to take a photo or to start a video. The lights up here are showing what the battery strength it currently is. On the side is the zoom in and zoom out. And on the back side is the trigger that I had mentioned. Also, on the side here, that is where you connect to charge it. So that's basically the overview of the DJI OSMO 3 camera gimbal for your cell phone. I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to this channel because I intend to put out a lot more videos with other tech information, reviews, unboxing, and so on. So please subscribe, and I look forward to showing you some more things in the future. Thank you.